Hello guys, today we've got this Raspberry Pi 5 for repair. It appears to have a lot of physical damage, like smashed USB ports and bent GPIO pins, but let's see if it's still working after all that abuse. So after hooking up the display and power cable, we surprisingly get an image. Now let's see if it will boot into Raspbian OS. It takes a while as usual, but here we are in the Raspbian, where we can check if all the GPIO pins function as intended by running this script. If everything is okay, we should see errors only on GPIO2 and 3, as it is the case here. Here we can also see that the one port is working, as well as the other HDMI output. Now that we know the board is functional, we can proceed to repair the smashed USB ports. As you probably already noticed, today I will be using a different soldering iron. To power it, I will be using this 100 watt PD power bank. As for the soldering iron, this will be the KETS02 from Kaiweets, which is an USB powered soldering iron with swappable tips. It has rated power of 65 watts and can be powered by any PD power adapter that can supply 9 volts or more, which makes it extremely portable, especially when paired with a power bank. The tips are cartridge type, which means the heater is one with the tip, and that makes for real fast heating up times and noticeably better heatsink compensation when working on parts with big thermal mass. It comes with this really nice high quality silicone cable, which is super soft and bendy and of course high temperature resistant. As you can see, it heats up real fast, and it has a simple menu with some useful settings you can tweak. Also, it comes with a standard 65 watt GAN power adapter, which is universal and you can use it with all your other devices. Go check out the soldering iron via the first link in the description. You can also use the code 2025N17 for additional 17% off when ordering. At the time of starting the repair, my power bank is at 99% and we will check on that when I finish the repair. Now let's get back to work. We basically need to remove the broken USB ports from the board, clean the holes and solder new ones in place. This is a tough job as there are a lot of holes connected to ground, which is a huge plane on this 4-layer board, so it will sink a lot of heat. To make the removal easier, I'm going to apply some low melt solder paste. Now it's really important to melt and mix it well with the unleaded high temp solder that's on the board, so I'll take my time. The board is getting toasty, which is a great sign that we are putting a lot of heat in. These ports look to be ready to come off, so repeat for the other two. I'll use some hot air to remove them, as it's kind of impossible to keep all the solder joints molten at the same time with the soldering iron. Now with the old ports gone, we can proceed with removing the solder from all the holes. For this, I will be using solder wick and a bit of flux. It's as easy as pressing on the solder wick with the iron and it sucks all the solder out from the hole. I am actually surprised how good and easy most of the holes cleaned up, but there are always some stubborn ones which will need a bit more persuasion. The problem with them is that they are both long and small in diameter, which makes it really hard for not enough heat to travel to the solder and melt it. While you watch me clean the rest of the solder, I wanted to say a few things. The first one is that I'm launching an online shop where you will find a gradually increasing selection of tools, parts and consumables that you see me use here, alongside some refurbished by me devices. If you want to check it out, there is a link to it in the description. Also, I wanted to say a huge thank you to my supporters on Patreon, James Damant and Michael. If you too want to support the channel, the link to my Patreon is down below. Once all the holes are empty, we can clean the PCB from all the burnt flux. Then we can proceed with the assembly. So we will take these USB ports that came off a donor board, and we are going to put them in place by soldering only one pin. That way we can adjust their position and align them properly. And once we confirm they are all placed correctly, we can solder all the remaining pins. I really like how effortlessly I am able to solder all the pins, including the big housing ones, straight to ground. Now that all the pins are soldered, I will clean the board again and address some minor issues I spotted along the way. First is this ferrite bead that leaves it along with its traces. So we will heat it up a bit with the hot air and press down so it returns in its initial position. Then I will clean the flux around it and glue it down using a small bit of super glue. This will hold it fairly good in place. The other one I've noticed is the missing transistor, which is responsible for turning off the red LED once the pi is booted. As you probably noticed in the beginning of the video, once the pi booted, the ACT LED was glowing both green and red as opposed to only green. So by taking this transistor from a donor and placing it back in place, that should be fixed. Now I can do a final cleanup and straighten the GPIO pins. After all this, we can finally power it up and test if the new USBs and the ACT LED are working as intended. And sure enough they are, and that means the repair was successful. Before I end the video, I wanted to say a few things. First, we can see that the power bank is at 84%, which means I've used only about 15% for recording the whole video, which took about an hour. That's great, as you can really go out in the wild and solder for several hours, with nothing other than a power bank. I've used the soldering iron for a while now, and the variety of available tips is really great. Also, I really liked the tip cover, which is all aluminum and can be used to safely pack the soldering iron even when it's still hot, which means you don't have to wait for it to cool down, and that's bonus points for portability. The only downside I can think of is the included stand. which does its job as a stand, but the sponge is too small and kind of tricky to use. That's about it for today. As always, thanks for watching. Till the next time, bye.